FIFINE has a brand new microphone, the Amplitank Tank1. Does it look familiar? Let's get into it. First off, I want to thank FIFINE for sending this out to me to review. However, I'm still going to give my 100% honest review and reactions on these items. They do not get to see this video before it gets posted. They did not tell me what to say. So if you like what you see here, make sure you give me a good old thumbing, hit that like and subscribe, do all those YouTuber things. All right, back to the review. Before we actually hook the microphone up, let's talk about what actually comes in the box. You got your manual, which is upside down. Your manual. You get a little adapter and you get the microphone itself. And check that out. This thing is built like a tank. All metal build. The only plastic, I believe, is the knobs, which I know a lot of companies use plastic knobs. So, very well built. The grill. I am squeezing and pressing, and this thing is not budging. It is very, very solid. It is threaded on there for 3/8 and 5/8 in there as well, so it can fit any boom arm, as well as have an adapter, because I know some boom arms you can't get it all the way in there for the little 3/8. It does have a bonus that the Rode Pod mic does not have, which is a mid bass boost and a high pass filter switch, each on there. So that is what is in the box, and that is the build construction of the microphone itself. Very hefty. I believe it weighs close to the same as the Rode Pod mic. And I have been using the Rode Pod mic with no processing add-on, so you get a little bit of a comparison right off the bat. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and hook this up and see what it sounds like. Okay, I have the FIFINE Tank1 hooked up, going through the Rodecaster Duo with no processing on, which is exactly how I had the Rode Pod mic. And this is the sound you're going to get right out the box. I really love this nice warm tone that this thing is providing. Let's play with some of these switches on the back though. I'm going to give you a handling noise test as I get this in position so you can see. All right, there we go. A little bit of handling noise. Let me get a little closer. Okay, so as you can see, I have the mid bass boost at neutral and the low cut filter on neutral as well. Let's turn on the low cut filter on. And this is what it sounds like with the low cut filter on. It did cut out a little bit of the bass in my voice, but to get a little bit more presence back, I can simply turn on the mid bass boost and you get a little bit more presence. I do enjoy the sound of this as well. It's slightly different than when it's in neutral, but it does offer a nice smooth sound. Now let's turn the high pass filter off. Turn it off here, put it in neutral. And this is what it sounds like with just the mid bass boost on. Giving you a little bit more presence if you feel you need it. I'm going to put it back in neutral. And those are your switches. So let's put this back here. All right. Now let's run some tests on this thing. You just had a handling noise test. How about a sound resonance? I'm going to tap on my desk. Tap on the boom arm. And the microphone itself. I'm not getting any strong frequencies coming through when you tap on the microphone, which is a very big plus. Plosive test. Please don't put pineapple on pizza. Please don't put pineapple on pizza. We don't do that here. We don't put pineapple on pizza. No. So that is the plosive test. If you use good mic technique and blow the wind past the microphone, please don't put pineapple on pizza. Please do not put pineapple on pizza. And you're not going to get those pesky peas popping if you blow the wind past the microphone. So how about a proximity test? I'm going to get right up on the microphone and say, hey, this is what it sounds like when you're right up on the microphone. good speaking distance away. This is what it sounds like when you're good speaking distance away. A good, I don't know, a good fist away. This is about a foot away. I'm a good foot away from the microphone. This is what it sounds like when you're about a foot away. And this is what it sounds like when you're about 2 feet away from the microphone. This is what it sounds like when you're about 2 feet away from the microphone. So this is a dynamic microphone. So you kind of want to be at least a good Y away. That is a good speaking distance. I was probably a little too close to begin with. But this is what it sounds like at a good speaking distance away. And now how about sound rejection? This is what it sounds like when you're right in front of the microphone. Turn it to a 90-degree angle. Now I'm right behind the microphone, back at a 90-degree angle, and we are back in front. So that's what it sounded like with all the tests run, but that is with no processing. What does this thing sound like with a little bit of processing on? So let me go ahead. I'm still on the normal dynamic setting, and I am just going to add a little bit of processing. Now we have a little bit of processing on. This is the podcast studio setting. This is what it sounds like with the podcast studio setting on. I really, really enjoyed this sound. This has that sound that I enjoy, this broadcasty type sound. I can't say enough about the sound I am hearing. I can't wait to go back and listen to this and hear exactly what this sounds like. All right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back, listen to everything I've already recorded, and come back with my final thoughts. And now for my final thoughts. Before I get into my final thoughts, I do want to say I changed some of the settings on the Rodecaster Duo. It is now on the PodMic preset with the Podcast Studio setting. And this is the sound you're going to get. And this is probably the way I would use this mic going forward for me. Now, a little bit about this microphone. I am super glad that FIFINE finally released this in the US because I noticed that they had this microphone in other countries for about a year before they brought it to the States. And I was craving this microphone, and I want to thank FIFINE for finally releasing it in the States because I love it. You can find this on Amazon right now for about $130, which is the first kind of the first step into the big boy arena at above $100 price point for FIFINE. And let me tell you, they took a swing and they did not miss. The build quality is fantastic. The tone of this thing is fantastic. This is definitely going to be in my rotation going forward. Tell me what you think of the tone and the build quality of the FIFINE Tank1 down in the comments below. All right, that does it for this episode of Back to the Retro Review. I am the Bearded Geek, and remember, if I don't see you again, thank you for being a friend.